For the second session, we will have member panel. Two of them will be joining in person and two will be joining online. Let me introduce a moderator for the second panel session. He, from high school itself, has always been very, very arts inclined. So he's always been very creative, involved in arts. In fact, in 1999, he specialized in Virtual Malaysia, the first Malaysia tourism portal that uses virtual reality. Last time when I was little, maybe you would talk about virtual reality is something which you only see in the movie, but now it's really a reality and we are living it. All right? And he did this to promote Malaysia destination. And because of his effort, in fact, he went into e-commerce later on, online booking, virtual travel fair, and travel community, and received many, many local and international awards. So the person that we are referring to is none other than the president of Dittam and also the champion of tourism Nexus Malaysia, our moderator for our second panel session, New Age of Destination Marketing Going Digital, is none other than Mr. Rohizam Md Yusoff. Welcome. And he will be joined by, as I mentioned earlier, member of the panel. Two of them will be joining in person. He'll be introducing them. And two more will be joining online.
Now they change the format.
So, member of the panels include Dr. Thanam Subramaniam, Senior Lecturer, School of Hospitality, Tourism and Events, Taylor's University. We'd also like to welcome in person, joining for the panel, second panel session, we have Mr. Shahrin Bin Mokhtar, Director, Advertising Digital Division of Tourism Malaysia. And joining us online, Ms. Lau Yin May, who is the Group Chief Marketing and Customer Experience Officer, Malaysia Airlines Berhad. Also joining online, we'd like to welcome Ms. Katy Gallagher, Commercial Director of Apec, Sojern Asia Private Limited. So over to you.
All right. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. And to all the panelists, first of all, let me thank you to the organizer for having us here as a panelist. And also thank you for giving me a very simplified topic called digitalization, not the mouthful like what Dr. Miza had just now. All right. And also, Dr. Miza, thank you for setting up the stage for digital needs on the future marketing activities, as well as how we can set stage for this. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, salam sejahtera. Salam keluarga Malaysia, salam sayangi Malaysia to everyone, and also welcome to all the participants, and thank you for being here today. Well, we also, finally we see a real physical and virtual event.
Yeah.
Right?
Finally.
Are we ready, our virtual team? All right. And this is how the way to move forward and the way going to be in the future. What we need to find out how the best way to do this with more increase our economy in tourism. See, we only have 1 hour, so we've been told that we have to finish by 1. And here we're going to talk about new age of digital destination marketing, go digital. I will summarize it called digitalization, will be much easier. One thing that I learned and improvised, or everybody now can say digitalization, right? It's simple, right?
Yeah.
15 years ago, people can even say it. Digitalization. So now digitalization is a word of everybody. Yeah? And with us today, we all know digital tourism industry have been around since 1999, since when the internet enabling the industry. We all heard when it started way back many years ago, in 1990s, they call it 3C, content, commerce, and community. Then we go to what they call SOLOMO, social, local, and mobile. And after that, we go into SOCMET, social media, all right? And then now we talk about tourism 4.0, where we talk about virtual reality, augmented reality, big data, machine learning, and many others. So you can see the digital marketing and internet are here to stay and going to start taking over a lot of other tasks that we need to be done. So join me today. We have our panelists who range from government, tourism, industries, colleges, education, practitioners, and also a solution provider. I have to show this way because please see in the screen too, yeah? All right. Encik Shahrin now, lead of digital marketing division
Yes.
of Tourism Malaysia. Dr. Thanam is a senior lecturer of tourism, hospitality, event, Tele University. Yin May, a group chief marketing and customer experience of Malaysia Airlines. And we have Katy Gallagher, senior sales director of Apec Sojern Asia. Right. Katy, can you wave your hand a bit, Katy? Okay, all right, at least we are live here. All right, okay. And the company that focus on a marketing platform. Well, let's go quickly to our panel speakers and panelists. Let me give them like 1 or 2 minutes to introduce what their role in the organization, so then you know where to direct your question to. Yeah. So let's start with Shahrin. Probably Shahrin, you have 1 or 2 minutes of.
Yeah, thank you, Rohizam. I've known Rohizam since the 90s when he's bringing the magazine. I forgot the name
Virtual
of the magazine.
Malaysia.
Virtual Malaysia, yes. So that's old style of advertising. So basically now I'm a director of the advertising and digital division. So currently we are looking into advertising in terms of we are moving towards digitalization. I'm still having a problem in mentioning that word, pronouncing it, but we're moving into that. But we still combine with the traditional way of advertising. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Dr.
Thank
Thanam?
you,
Yes.
Chairman. I'm Dr. Thanam Subramaniam. Okay, the COVID-19 pandemic actually giving us tremendous changes in our online teaching, especially the tourism and hospitality modules, where we actually, from the traditional module, we actually changing for the online or remote mode, where we actually facing a lot of changes, and we also thinking how we as can play the role as a mediator between the demand for the tourism and also supplier from the tourism, because we as a person will help to reshape the upcoming and potential suppliers or the people who can work in this industry based on the demand from the tourism sectors. So we actually engage with the various tourism industry and also come out with a project and research that we can help to come out with a digital mindset.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. How about we start with Yin May? Oh, we cannot hear Yin May. Can we have
The
voice?
sound? Yeah.
Can you all hear? No, yeah? Okay, hold on. Maybe we move to Katy first. Katy, can you? Oh, not yet.
Katy?
No sound?
No sound.
Okay, so
Well, I can hear you, Yin May.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
okay,
Katy.
now we are good. Okay, Yin May,
Okay.
we can go back to you.
Okay, go.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks, Rohizam. And hi, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here, especially so after the announcement of Malaysia borders reopening on 1st of April. I'm from Malaysia Airlines. I look after marketing, customer experience, and also our enriched portfolio. And needless to say, we at the airlines, at the aviation group, are really excited, waiting for our passengers to come flying with us again.
All right, we move to Katy.
Thank you. I'm Katy Gallagher. I'm based in Singapore and I'm with Sojern. At Sojern, we use digital ad tech to put together campaigns for our partners that could be airlines, tourism boards, and hotel chains. And what I'm really excited about talking about today is how tourism partners can work together with other partners in the region, like attractions and airlines, to drive business into their destinations, and how we can diversify and not get into a situation of over tourism, and really drive business throughout an entire country.
All right, thank you to all the panelists for the short introduction. Let us start with Tourism Malaysia. At the moment, I believe that all of us are excited on the 1st of April, opening of the borders. and everybody are actually look to Tourism Malaysia for the main body to promote the country.
Yeah.
So what have we of the plan that currently is ongoing with Tourism Malaysia?
Okay, for the opening of the border, what we do is that because we want fast, like news and then fast action by our station in overseas. What Tourism Malaysia do is that we have allocation for in-market for them to do the advertising and promotion, so that they can act fast and they can select which partners and media they want to go to. So by when we open on 1st of April, there'll be, the noise is there. And the second part is that we also work closely with OTAs, international OTAs like Expedia. We are planning to do a hard sell based on the database. The selection of the market is based on the big data. And what we are looking at is, because we are planning to work with Expedia first, so we are looking at UK, US, and Australia. So this is in April, the campaign will be on. And then for the awareness campaign and the branding campaign for people to remember back Malaysia, we are looking at the international media. Basically, we have been discussing with BBC and even CNN, and so we'll see, you'll see the momentum of, people will start to see Malaysia again in the global market. Okay.
Wow. There's a lot of things need to be done
Yes.
in a very short of time, but I'm sure that we all hope that this actually will be happen very fast. By the way, if any of the participants do have a question, please let us know. Because you can also text the question, or we can see the question here, so we can get ready to get the panelists to answer. So let's move on to workforce, okay, to education, because the education market is the one going to bring the workforce out. Are the current workforce or current education system are ready for the digitalization or digital era of tourism? Doctor?
Okay. As we know, we are actually moving towards industry revolutionary of 4.0, and this is actually giving a transformation in our education system as well. So COVID-19 pandemic is giving a great lesson that how we immediately can transfer to the remote system by upgrading our skill and so on. This is actually giving a lesson for our educators and also our students, how we can using this opportunity to promote the tourism industry. Because when the border will open, we are actually welcoming more international tourists to our country, and we actually need to use this opportunity to promoting it. And the youngsters who actually more advanced with the technology can be one of the great source that we can grab them and ask them, okay, tell us how you want the technology to be used to promote this destination. What are you really looking for? How to have the people touch, or how to personalize, or how to customize these tour packages. So based on that, we actually try to educate the student with the integrated project where we actually engage with the various programs. It's called as a multidisciplinary program in our university, where we actually engage the student with the various school when they come out with a project to promote the domestic tourism. For example, last semester we actually come out with a smart tourism application concept, where the student actually tried to come out with a virtual tour together with the education. So this is basically created to support the parents who complaining the kids are highly engaged with or highly addicted to the video games. They fully depends on the video game, and they are not concentrating on their education. So when we throw this question to the student immediately come out with the idea, Miss, why not we come out with a virtual tour which can educate the kids, and that definitely will get the support from the parents. And when we testing that one, we come out with the proposal and we approach the parents to get the feedback. We realize, wow, it's really supporting. So when it's making into the reality, this is something that people want. And we no need to educate these youngsters to how to utilize, how to use this technology. They are more advanced than us. So as an educator, now we actually open mindset where we actually welcoming their insight to us, and we also just get the content or the ideas that are needed from the tour operators to come out with the more suitable projects. So this is actually on the way that we are actually engaged with the many people, and definitely it will be support to promote our digitalization of the tourism industry.
Wow.
Thank you.
I can see many of us here are pretty senior, but doesn't mean we are not digital savvy. Am I right? Yeah, see everybody there, okay? So we can go back to school, no problem. There's no limit to education, right? So probably we'll have a education for the senior digitalization savvy. I tell you, they have more creative ideas too, all right? Okay, let's move with Yin May, because digital, not just talking about booking, online, OTAs, but it's go beyond marketing as well. Previously, we talked about digital marketing, marketing 3.0, semantic marketings. That what key important in digital is the customer experience. Yep. How does Malaysia Airlines look at this as one key factors, and how can we bring up or enhance our digital tourism travel experience with digital?
Yeah, thanks, Rohizam. As you rightly said at the beginning of this session, the keyword now is about digitalization. And I think the challenge to that is not about simply absorbing or adapting and adopting digitalization. It is very key for every business to know, firstly, who are your customer segment? I'll go straight down to the core of marketing, right? You need to understand your customer segments, need to then know what are their behaviors, what are their habits, what are their media consumptions, and also how do they best absorb messages that you want to shoot at them. Now, following that, you need to then cater the right message via the digital. Digital is just one form, yeah, but able to use it at the right time, in the right format, be it whether it's a text, it's a short video, it's a longer YouTube video, or whatsoever, that needs to be very clearly articulated. So at Malaysia Airlines, we take digital very seriously. And to share, it is not just to a consumer. We start with also our internal staff. Yeah, I guess the pandemic has somewhat accelerated the digital growth. And this is not just to external. So with our own staff, we started upskilling, yeah, everyone, to make sure that they are firstly internally properly skilled in terms of knowing what digital is all about, because only then we can dispense our accountability, our roles in whatever we do, to be able to then forward and pass this to in creating products to suit our passengers. So like last year, at the onset of the pandemic, we started creating what we call the contactless travel. Yeah, it is clearly leveraging on digital that you are able to do a lot of things online, to avoid that physical contact. Yeah, because that was the concern of our consumers. So keeping updated of the evolving customer behavior and preferences is our key. Because at Malaysia Airlines, we all believe in one thing: customer is our center of gravity. So we need to be always knowing what they want, what suits them well, and then create a product that supports them, that meets their needs, and then be able to then implement it in the right way and manner. Yeah, so it's always been very important to us at Malaysia Airlines, and we continue to embrace that digitalization. Also in the fields of marketing, the recent creation of the ASMR, we rolled out the Augmented Sensory Meridian response. Okay. It is really one of the new age method of digital advertising. It's a lengthy 30 minutes audio only clip. Yeah, it's called The Sounds of MH. If you have time, Google it. It's about bringing you as a listener on an experiential experience flying from Gallagher to London, because we all couldn't fly at that point. So everyone yearns to fly, yeah, and we know that we need to maintain the engagement with our consumers, even though out of sight, the risk is out of sight, out of mind. We don't want them to forget about Malaysia Airlines. So we created ASMR, and it literally brings somebody as though that they're traveling through all the sounds, be it the announcement at the airport for boarding, or the announcement for in-flight, or even the cling and clangs at the galley when the food is being served. So have a look at that. That got international recognition, and our consumers and our passengers really love that. Yeah. So it's about how we bring digital to the next level, knowing what consumers want at the end of the day.
Wow, congratulations, Malaysia Airlines, for the achievement. And I believe all the little thing now is very important. Many of us have not been flying for years. Yeah, either we fly domestic. I think some even forgot where to put your check-in bag already by now at the airport. So any little thing now, people will appreciate in travel. Okay, let's move to Katy. Yeah, Katy. One of the key important role on digital marketing, or I would say, what are the challenges of digital marketing? Because many people talk about cost, we talk about technicality of it, and which one are more important, the data or the storytelling? How do we actually go about getting the right, more efficient of digital marketing?
It's a great question, and I think we can't say one's better than the other. It's all ingredients that go into the same soup that make it work together. So at Sojern, data is the common denominator for everything we do. We collect travel intent data from over 1,000 data partners that are airlines, online travel agencies, meta search sites. So we're able to then share with our partners like tourism boards and airlines, what are the trends? What are people looking for right now? This has never been more valuable than in COVID and as we come out of pandemic into endemic. We can see who's interested in coming to Malaysia. As your borders, as you said, are opening April 1st, I had a look and saw there's over 3,000% week-on-week growth of search from the US into Malaysia. So incredible numbers that we're able to see real time are driving people to go search and book travel into specific destinations when these restrictions are lifted. We can see you guys are all in Penang. Penang's actually domestically the top place for Malaysians to take a domestic trip right now. And still, Malaysia's seeing huge month-on-month increases in domestic travel, 60% month-on-month increase. So that data is extremely important so that we can then move to the storytelling piece. What's the story we want to tell to those people? Because behind data is just a bunch of people that we want to talk to and convert. So we work with our partners to understand what's the story they want to tell. Are they trying to drive conversions? Are they trying to build up a funnel that they can then convert now in 3 months and 6 months over time? And due to COVID, and a lot of travel sites have not had a lot of traffic, the strategies that we're working on are really how do we bring people back and tell them the story so we have a visitor not only in the next 7 to 14 days, but we've got that strong pool of people that are interested to convert down the line. And we do a lot of testing. I actually had a call with a partner this morning where we were testing 3 different types of creative, generic, family, and luxury, to see, and in specific markets, and running in Singapore and running in India. And we were trying to understand what was moving the needle. And we can tell with machine learning and real-time interaction on these advertising assets, where's the creative storytelling moving the needle, and where is the data helping in terms of demand. So it all goes together, and we're there as a partner to help you walk through it and make sure you understand it. And I can't say enough about testing and learning, especially as we come out of the pandemic stage, so that partners, there's no set it and forget it. We wouldn't be here if there was. We all have to move through this together and see what's working best, and then grow our strategies from there.
Okay. Now we heard more next jargon, meta search, convergence, big data, yeah. So Katy are getting us to the heavier ground of digital marketing, okay. Well, I have to say we finished our round 1 of the digital discussion. Let me open for any question first for the panelists before we move on for my next round. All right, if any question that you like to ask, if not, we're going to ask you questions, so please do so. I know there are a lot of digital experts out there too. Okay, any questions so far? Not yet. Still trying to wrap up some question. Okay, none. I'll move to the next round of questions. Yeah. On digitalization, all right. Many people have this confused understanding. It's expensive, or it's not. Is the traditional will be more expensive, or I have to go to digital, I cannot go with traditional? Which one? we call it value and efficiency of the digitalization. Maybe we can start with Cik Shahrin, because you have probably, Cik Shahrin was with Tourism Malaysia in 1999.
1991. February.
1991. So that's how long I know him. So
Yeah.
from research division to all division, so he knows what Tourism Malaysia have done from traditional all the way to digital now. So maybe that will be the best experience to share with all of us. Where do you see the value and efficiency of of promotion?
Okay. Well, back to the memory lane. I mean, Dr. Miza is there, he knows better than me. But okay, what we are doing now, because what we are seeing, the trend, because for me, you know, the advertising platform is just a platform. It's the same. It's, you know, people will not remember, you know, how the frequency, how many times you put out your advertising. But what people will remember is the message that you put in. You know, what is the clickbait and all that. That is what people remember. So basically, you know, in terms of the mixture of things, because when we, you know, have discussion with the media owners and all that, you know, they will put a mix of things. Basically, you know, they put the traditional media, and it's funny, the traditional media is expensive. So, but you know, what is good is that, you know, what appear in the traditional media will appear in the social media, on the online newspaper. So this is a good combination. So people will remember. So you have to find, you know, combination between conventional and online media, because there's still people that go for the conventional media. But for those that, you know, the millennials and all that, even for me, I don't read the print newspaper anymore since 2000, I think, year 2000. I never touched a print newspaper. So basically, I rely on the online. So, you know, and then you have to keep track, because the platform changed, you know, the popularity and all that. Because I still remember, you know, when we talk, you know, online in the 90s, yeah, when we first come up with our Tourism Malaysia website, that is in mid 95, I think. So basically, like, that is the thing. So then you see the movement to Facebook, to IG, now it's TikTok and all that. So the content is important. And the problem now is that the attention of the millennials now and the Z generation is very short. So you find that, you know, when you want to do video, it's 15 seconds or 30 seconds. I mean, those days I can see 2 to 5 minutes video. But now, if you do more than 30 seconds, I mean, they will just switch off.
Yep.
So this is the thing, the challenges that you have to see, you know. And then you have to, like, you know, when you do your advertising, you know, you have to remember now people are looking at the phone. So, you know, what appears, they can read in the phone, because either it's half or, you know, quarter page and something like that. So this is the thing that you have to adapt for you to be relevant.
Yep.
Okay, I think I will finish with that first.
Well, I like the word, you have to adapt to be relevant. Yeah, so the industry, we have survived since SARS, you know, all the pandemic, like Dato' Sri Miza said, we are still here, Dato', right? Doesn't matter what, we have resilient ourselves somehow rather. But continue being resilient is not way that doesn't mean promising you anything, but be relevant is something that you need to always focus, right? Maybe I would like to move to Katy. Yep, I'm very sure they are the younger generation who focus more on digital, right? So, what is your comment on this, digital versus traditionals?
I've been in the digital space since 2005, so I'm a huge advocate of this space. And what I can say is the evolution of digital since 2005 is so incredible that, you know, I think that that's the space to be. Now, not to say that there's not a home for traditional or for print media and out of home, but what I can see and where I think the huge value comes from is you can understand, you can touch, and you can feel, what did my money get me? Who did I target? How did they react? And then how do I pivot so that I can continue? You know, if you have a bus ad or, you know, a billboard, you know that you're getting in front of people and you're targeting them. But when you're in the digital space, you can understand, if you're Malaysia, you can know, did the Indian consumers identify with my my May campaign, or did Indonesians or Australians? You can understand this piece. You can understand if families are coming. Something that we've worked on at Sojern is providing what we call a destination wrap report. So when you're running your media campaign, we can tell you if someone saw your ad and then went and searched and booked Malaysia, we can tell you how many people did that. So this is the value of digital. Touching and feeling what your dollars are driving, and then that helps fuel the evolution of your strategy and how you should pivot it. Something else that I really I'm always working with my tourism partners on is how can you get travelers to stay longer so that they're spending more in your destination and they're booking more tour guides, and it's really fueling the economy if they're performing so many more activities and able to visit more museums. So what type of messaging and storytelling are you using with your data in order to drive those dollars?
Yep. Okay, so we all know that even though digitalization or digital marketing is something that we have to adapt, but the technique of it actually not that difficult, but we have to find best way to deliver the message with a better storytelling and how we collect the data. Okay. My next question will be to Yin May. Yin May, any question from the floor first? We actually literally have about 10 minutes, so you better take this advantage of ask the question. If you do have, just raise your hand and we will pass you the mic. By the time the mic reach there, probably we can ask some question first. Now what we call the tourism industry have been reset. Everybody on the starting line racing to get there, to sell, to invite people to come to the country. Every country now, I would have to say, are advanced in the digital adoption. Yeah. So, how do you see that Malaysia, or you can suggest anything that Malaysia can win this race with all the country in the world that actually now are eye-popping, are trying to attract all the tourists. So we need to move and win the race. You may? Oh, we're losing your voice there.
Oh, you're
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Sorry, yeah. No, I was saying you nailed it straight on the dot, right? And Rohizam. Now, when everybody has been holding back their travel for the past 2 years, that's what always we call about revenge travel, right? Now, when borders are starting to open, and we do see a lot of borders opening, India borders opening, Australia has also opened, and we're coming very soon for the North Asia countries to open. Now, everybody is eyeing on the same consumers out there. It is very key that now we need to go out there and capture this first market first. Yeah, and how do we do that? Clearly, it's a couple of ways. Three ways I would clearly put it as. Number one, Malaysia has so much awesome destination attractions, be it ecotourism, be it the beach, the sun, the sea, the city, the shopping. We have a whole lot, and I'm sure Shahrin knows the details to this, right? And because Tourism Malaysia has been doing very well to promote Malaysia to the world. So we need to re-emphasize this. Again, we take it as though consumers probably may have very short attention span, right? So we need to remind people of how great Malaysia is. Number two is to understand again which segment market we are after, to be able to identify what messages, like what Shahrin mentioned, and on what platform would best reach them. There's no point of simply going digital, not understanding whether that method and that format will be able to capture the attention of our consumers. And thirdly is reinforcement. You can't just do things one time. It is continuous reinforcement, and with a 360 marketing approach. Yeah, with marketing, I always believe that you probably have heard, as a marketer, you probably heard of it 100 times, but your target consumer probably only 1% of them have heard of that message. So reinforcement and a 360 marketing approach is very, very critical to make sure that we capture the target segment that we want and to be able to then get a share of that wallet of tourism into Malaysia.
Oh, so the digital allowing you to cover 24 hours, 365, with 360-degree approach. So practically, to win the race, we really need to really comprehend or pen all this technology embedded in our, not just company, in the industries and the government and everywhere. Yeah, and in fact, if you remember, probably this is where there were many seniors of tourism Malaysia people are here. One of the reasons people come to Malaysia before, because of, when you ask, why you come to Malaysia? Because of the people.
Yes.
Right? Because of the people. So it's easy to promote if you actually because of people. Number two, because of our ecotourism, right? And the rest, now we have man-made attraction and the rest. When we talk about people, today we need to go back and market the fastest way on how to actually have Malaysia identity. So on my side, we're looking at a campaign called Sayangi Malaysia. All right, meaning to say we go to go details about Sayangi Malaysia, but this is where we need to get this into the education, all the way from not just universities to the college level. So what we want to know, how does the universities now are looking at building up Malaysia identity towards the young generation, and they will keep it all the way with them.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Okay, in line with the Tourism Malaysia initiative to promote the domestic tourism, we actually tried to engage our students' assessment in terms of assignment, or maybe their group project, or their external project that can be linked with the tourism destination. So apart from attending the classes, we also always encouraging them, or we also bring them for the educational trip for the different tourism destination. We actually promote. At the same time, we allow them to engage with the local community. So the outcome from their experience will be one of the motivation for them to continuously engage with this tourism industry, at the same time to support the initiative of the Tourism Malaysia to promote it. In addition, we also will thinking what are the other alternatives. For example, we are conducting several virtual talks from 2020 to promote our tourism industry. We are actually welcoming a lot of stakeholders from the tourism industry to raise up their issue and highlight what is the need, what are the demand that they really looking for the upcoming generation, or what are the changes they really want us to transform in terms of the education or the syllabus and the assessment. We having a lot of discussion on that. For example, we are having this industry advisory panel for the each education institution who actually can advise us what are the need, what are the changes, what are the requirement that they're really looking from the customers, that we actually can supply from the our side and from the student perspective. So that is will actually build the good relationship. We are totally understand, because we are also teaching the marketing. So the concept of the marketing is how to create value to the customers while you're building the good relationship. So in order to build the good relationship to the customers, you must make your customers happy with that. So we actually are there as an educator to reshape the youngsters, or the both local and international student, how to actually can see all these ideas or your process, your initiative to promote the product, everything from the customer's perspective. For example, if I'm a customer, how I will seeing it. Insurance seeing it from the supplier perspective, how I promoting it, how I can increase the visitors, how I can make profit, but how I can satisfy the need and expectation of the varieties of the customers from the various country. So when you're able to meet that requirement, either you're using traditional method or digitalization tools, because that's just a tools, but the concept, as I highlight by our tourism Malaysia, the content is very important. When you're able to deliver the content clearly to them, that where it's easy to build the customers. So we actually tried out the way how the student can see any project or any assessment from the digital mindset, where they see how this project will help the tourism industry to satisfy their need and expectation. And we just ask them, okay, if you are in that perspective, how you want to help the tourism industry to promote the destination and bring that destination royalty by using this technology. So that is how we actually implement through our various assessments.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like to pick up the word on digital mindset. Yeah, the doctor has mentioned just now. And maybe any of our panelists share your experience in promoting or adapting to digital and the digital mindset, digital paradigm. You know, these are the things that hinder us in growing into digital. Do you think there is still an issue now, or is no longer something that you should talk about? We can move forward because digital mindset is already something in the past. Maybe we can start with Yin May.
Yeah, well, I think one thing is the pandemic has helped everyone embrace digitalization. It is to the point where now when you walk on the streets, everyone are exposed to digital, you know. So for marketers, for companies, it makes us easier for us to reach our consumers at large, yeah. But I would have to say this: do not take digitalization as a quick must-go method. Yeah, just because everybody is on the digital space, you still need to be very clear who are your segments. You know, I'll go down to segments again because there is no point of going into digital with the same common message, because digital space is now a very congested area. Yeah, and consumers' attention span on digital is very short. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you are targeting the right people with the right message at the right time. If not, it will still be a waste of resources, a waste of time, and a waste of money for that matter. So digital mindset, I think overall everyone is embracing that. Yeah, but I will caution to not jump into it and still ensure that a proper strategy on how do we intend to use digital.
Oh, losing your voice again. All right. We're looking at that. Katy, do you have any comment whether digital also will discourage people to travel?
I'm sorry, what was the last part?
Digitalization or digital marketing also will come to discourage people to travel. We will know all the positive impact. We also need to know what's the negative impact of digitalization, and as well as, can you hear me? I think we're all right. You're okay?
Yeah.
Because this is something that we need to industry to know, something that do and don'ts as well. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I don't think that digital will discourage people. I think going back to what Ying May say, it's do you have the right message at the right time to the right person? I think what might be discouraging and where an advertiser might have a bad experience where they spend their media dollars is, did I get the result I wanted? Was I targeting the wrong person? Did I show my message too many times in one day? So, I think you could get discouraged if you don't get the right results, but you should be interviewing your partners the same way you would be interviewing people to come join your team, so that you know they have your best interests at heart and they're using not only data, but storytelling, machine learning, and real-time campaign learning, so that you're going to get the best results for your money, because there are so many elements that go into digital advertising and digital media. It's not about getting a nice piece of creative and just setting it live in the digital space. So you could be discouraged if you have bad results, but I would, again, just encourage you to make sure your partners are sharing a lot of that information about how data, storytelling, and technology is going to get you those positive results.
All right. Over here, I have 13 minutes, and over my watch, I have only have 5 minutes left. So we will take 6 minutes, so that in between, okay? So to be fair, so sorry to delay your lunch a bit, because I need to give more space for any question. But what we just picked up just now is the word called viral. If anything viral negative, okay, what we need to take care is so much easier for people to attack your country by giving some weird, a negative viral. So it's all our responsibility to look and to answer or to respond to it. So is this digital, maybe somebody like is good because it's easier for me to do marketing, but also need to understand that a lot of challenges to manage and to respond in the viral world, all right? I saw that to Ali, do you just raise your hand? Yes.
Okay, thank you, Brother Rohizam. We have been hearing all positive things about digitalization, online marketing, etc. I'm also a bit passionate about the environment. What will be the comments be from the respectful panel members and the moderator in terms of managing the digitalization materials vis-a-vis after use? How do we handle it? Because there's also a lot of reports about the environment, the concern, and I'm sure many of us here on the floor as well will be equally concerned about the environment. I would like to hear some comments, please. Thank you.
The digital waste, all right? So we talk, Dato' Ali was addressing on digital waste, and actually digital help us to move into what we call smart tourism. Digital is just one small component of smart tourism and towards sustainability, all right? So any of the panelists would like to take up this question, how can digitalization also protect the environment?
Well, I will just say I'm very excited. I mentioned earlier to the panel team that I traveled to Cambodia this past weekend. It's the first Southeast Asia holiday I've taken in over 2 years, probably about 26, 27 months. So what I saw was beautiful temples with not a lot of people there. And I thought, oh, I really want Cambodia to get a ton of business. With every country, I want a ton of tourism business to come back. But I think that we have to be really mindful in how over-tourism doesn't overtake destinations and start hurting those environments again. So I'm not sure if I'm answering the question, but I want to answer it from the human element and from the data element. So from the human element, I think we need to be careful about over-tourism and really helping to educate travelers where to go and not have everybody just go to one destination. And I heard on the previous panel, we know that people may want to get out of cities, they want wide open spaces, but if everybody's going to wide open spaces, then we're going to have empty cities. So we need to find a balance there. So that's the human element. The digital element is when we're working with our partners, we have to have brand safety elements. We'll apply negative keyword targeting. For instance, with, if there is an unfortunate incident that happens with, a cruise ship or an airplane or anything, we have steps that we take to make sure that your partner advertising won't show up on a news article about, such a catastrophe. So there's human and technology elements that we take into consideration in order to make sure that we are, doing the best we can for our partners and for our destinations.
Well, like everything that we, sorry, continue.
Yeah, maybe I can just add on
Yeah.
a little bit to that, to the question earlier regarding sustainability and digitalization. I think very clearly for us at the airlines, for the elderly ones like myself, we used to travel with a booklet. Do you still remember the booklet that has like 13, 15 pages? And as you travel, someone will then start pinching one of those leaflets out along the way. Now, clearly digitalization has helped that. Everything is now on digital. It's just in your smartphone. Literally, your booking, your check-in details, your flight details are on there. So it has eliminated a lot of paper. That's one. Now, with that as well, we are able to, clearly there's always pros and cons. Yeah. So the con part to digitalization is clearly that there will be also opening up the doors for say, comments or false information being spread around. Yeah. But I think In this new age and trend and time, we should be very close to consumer. We shouldn't shut our doors, and don't answer to say the comments on social media or whatnot. We should be always set a transparent environment even with the public. Yeah, and that kind of digitalization allows immediate data transfer, immediate comments and feedback being shared, so that action or resolution can be then immediately put in place to avoid a future occurrence of such matter. Yeah, so that's just a couple of my 2 cents worth.
All right. What we looked at is every technology have its effect, but we look at the more positive from digital, which reduce cost of printing, reduce cost of anything.
Yeah.
But as I said, any innovation, there are effects. For example, even electric cars. Okay, it does supposed to protect the environment, but the issue was where the battery, the source of the battery, and where we dispose the battery. Even our phone now, how we consume it, less printing, but then when we dispose it, the battery issues and all that. So that is under issue of sustainable, but it's something that very nice. But again, they are to manage this thing, they have what they call carbon footprint. Yeah, carbon footprint or carbon credit. The industry have to contribute back to the environment to save back the environment wherever you damage. Is right or wrong is not something we have to debate here. Okay, we're going to move into just digitalization. Well, look at it, the time is up for us, all right? And I would say again, thank you very much to all our panelists for being here today and to answer all the pressing questions and issues, as well as thanks to the organizer and congratulations to Pata Malaysia Chapter and PSAT for organizing this event. And I hope we're able to continue with more productive and effective conference, just not now and more near future. Thank you very much. Thank you again. Thanks.
Thank you.